Hey there, folks, it's Adam here. I'm actually editing the video you're about to watch right now, and I just wanted to mention a few things before you jump in. One, this is a pretty long form video because we go through every single thing in our bag. Two, we forgot to introduce ourselves, so I'm Adam Brockway, and I'm with Katie Davis, my partner. And three, my audio sounds terrible because my microphone died. Katie's sounds good, so all the audio is off of her mic. And I guess four, if you like this and you want to see more content like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel. There'll be a link down below. Thanks. Hey, welcome to 2020 edition of What's in Our Bag. We are wedding video and photo shooters, and this is what we took to our last couple weddings, and I feel like we finally have figured out our system, so we want to share it with you. So I'm going to start with my bag, and then Katie's going to get into hers, and then we'll talk about the two other bags that we have and the two bags that we carry during the actual wedding day. We have a lot of bags.
A lot of bags.
So to get started, I am going to show you this little camera right here, which is the Osmo Action. The reason I'm doing this camera first is it's going to become our overhead rig. So that's the Osmo Action. It's pretty good. We use it as our wide angle during the ceremony. I also use it as a camera on a camera a lot of the time. It has the built-in stabilization, which is pretty nice, and it's tiny, so we can just kind of use it wherever. When we go through the rest of this now, we'll start with the cameras, then go on to lenses, and then I'll go into accessory stuff. So diving right in, we have a Sony A9. This is my main camera. I love it for the silent shutter and for the autofocus. This is actually the camera that got me to switch to Sony, which led to us doing video.
Yeah.
And spending a lot of money on equipment.
Yeah.
As we switched from Nikon. But it's a great camera.
Yeah.
It's just a great camera. I'm gonna say that about everything in this bag.
I also feel like the A9's tracking is a lot nicer than the A7's for the tracking moving things mode.
Speaking of which, I also would have an A7 in this bag that would go right here. We'll just pretend that this is it because they're exactly the same size. That is currently over there. It's also built like a tank. That's currently over there, the camera that's recording us. Next up, we're gonna talk cameras first, we said. This is the one we just got, which kind of completed our kit. This is the A6600. We had previously the A6500, and literally the only reason we updated was because this camera takes the same batteries as our other A7s and A9s. It's great. I'm really happy with it. It also has a little vlogging screen, which is going to come in handy doing these videos.
Yeah.
I'm showing you.
Yeah.
I should show you guys.
Yeah.
Out there. So yeah, really happy with this little camera. Other cameras we have in here, we have a Sony action camera, the FDR X3000, I believe. Use it the same way as we use the Osmo. It's about the same quality. That's kind of nicer though because it has a screen. This doesn't, so sometimes it's hard to figure out when it's running and when it's not. And finally, to complete our small camera set, we have the nope, that's not what it's called. RX100 4. And this is a pretty cool little camera. It's pretty high quality for the size. This is the version where you could get into the firmware and mess around with it. So we were able to unlock unlimited recording. But I picked this up used fairly inexpensively. I'd like to get one of the newer ones, but budgeting. Can't buy everything I want.
Nope.
Yet. All right, let's do lenses. So my lenses are, for the most part, Sigma lenses. I really, really love Sigma lenses because they're very sharp. Their autofocus is fast. They're very sharp. They're super heavy. They're very sharp. They're inexpensive, and they're very sharp. And they're very heavy.
Very heavy.
Very heavy.
Very heavy.
Let's do this one last. This is my new one. So we have here 24-1.4, and its companion 50-1.4. So like I said, they're big, bulky, heavy, giant hunks of glass, but so sharp. Also, they have a really nice manual focus throw, which is handy because like the less expensive Sony lenses, the electronic focus by wire is kind of terrible. So that fixes that problem for us. I also have in here a Sony 50 crop sensor with stabilization. That's specifically for this camera because this is also a crop sensor camera. And that's if I'm doing camera on a camera stuff. We also have the 135 Sony, which this thing like hunk of glass for real. This is a 1.8 lens, and I end up using it during the ceremony a lot. That's it for lenses. Underneath here, I have a flash. I have an AD200 Pro. This was a huge step forward in our flash stuff this year. Was getting these. We got rid of like the big ass lights, and now we're using the small ones. It's kind of loose. I might have to repair it. Along with the other flashes, we have a trigger, which is currently missing a battery. Fix that real quick. Literally came back from a wedding and we're shooting this, so that's not true. It's like
That's
a month later.
not true. That's not
this
true.
bag has not been unpacked since that wedding.
Okay, fine.
This is the Godox. This is Cheetah branded. They don't even sell flashes anymore. Godox branded V860X. I also had to read that because it's wild. Basically, it's an ion lithium powered flash with this big honker battery that goes in here. And you get super good recycle rates. I only need one battery for an entire wedding. And if I did need two, we have two of these flashes. And we can put them in a tri-flash or just have two flashes that someone can hold. We also have the tiny version of that flash. Also with an ion lithium battery. I can't get it out. We've got these things, which are the attachments for the flashes. So they have a bunch of like adapters and stuff to change what they look like. They have gels, so you can gel the flashes. And they all attach to the round head with magnets. And this replaced the MagMod system for me. And I have one of these, which can slide over a regular flash and make it that round head, so you can put these adapters on it. This is like the most efficient version of this stuff. When we first shot video weddings, we had like 7 bags. We had that giant case.
Oh, God. That was...
It was awful on my back.
Yeah.
All right, so audio kit. I'm not going to break this out. Just so you guys know, I have an audio kit. I'll break down what's actually in here in a different video because there's a lot of stuff and it deserves its own video. 2 of the mics that we usually have in here we're actually wearing right now. We have an Expo disc here, which is super handy. This pouch I pull out and throw on my belt. This light is actually on.
Oh.
So that's good. I don't have a macro lens. Instead, I have this macro ring, which I use to get my ring shots. It's one less lens I have to have. Expo disc is really handy, especially when you're doing video, so that all your cameras look the same. This is probably one of our biggest tricks.
Yeah. Especially, I feel like in a church where it's like all that stained glass and like it's beautiful, but like I feel like it makes a huge difference in the white balance of our 30 different cameras.
Yeah, because like as might be apparent, we have a lot of cameras, like Katie said.
Yeah.
So that kind of nestles all together. And I'll throw this on my hip. If I don't feel like carrying my bag around, I can just throw another lens in that and be good. Oh, I forgot my last lens. This is our newest lens and maybe my favorite lens, which is funny because I've talked a lot about how I don't like these lenses. This is a 24-70 Sigma f2.8, and for a long time I was completely against the mid-range zoom, having not used them since like I started the business just because I feel like the ones we had when I was shooting then, it was like, they were crop sensor cameras, so it was a 17 to 55 2.8, and they were just dogs. They were bad lenses. That Nikon 17 to 55 is a bad lens. So I'd gone away from them for a long time, and then we kind of have felt like we've needed something just in that range for more of our commercial work. So I picked that up, and I brought it to the wedding, and I was trying it at prep, and I think it stayed on my camera for the majority of the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It was nice. Also in here, I have a couple of Aputure, what are these, like F1s? Amran F1 video lights, and these are great. We've got 2 of them. We've got 3 of them.
Yeah.
I like that you can change it. Well, it's super bright.
Yeah.
Actually, tell. You can change the color from tungsten to. Is that obvious? I don't know. Everything's really. Yeah. You can do that. And it's super easy, so you can just dial in your white balance. So we don't have to like gel stuff during receptions if we're using these. Or if we want like a really blue sky, we just throw a tungsten on it and light the bride's face with this. We have 2 of them, so we can have our assistant hold it like this and get basically a strip box of light. And then in here I also have a little flash there. We have 3 of these batteries, Sony LP, which basically the majority of our stuff runs off of these batteries or their specific like flash batteries or this battery. And 3 of these just fit nice side by side, and we have 3 video lights. So we have these 2, and we have this, what we call the Saber on the front, which is a YN Young Neural.
Young Nuo? I don't know.
Nuo
I have no idea.
360.
Yeah.
And these are cool too, because they do
Oh,
the
those
same
are fantastic.
thing. Where they, yeah, this is a great light.
Yeah.
Where it changes the light temperature.
Every time he blasts me with those. It's okay.
You know I'm gonna light us.
I know.
You have the good lighting on
I
you.
know.
I want the good lighting. There we go. So if I wanted to look beautiful and shiny and bright, perfect. This also does RGB, which is occasionally useful if you want, I don't know, to liven up your detail shots. That's mostly what I've done with it. We got a puffer because we're shooting mirrorless cameras, which means dust gets all over the sensor constantly. What else? Oh, this whole area is complicated. So this is all the stuff that I have to attach my camera to other cameras, to attach my flashes and video lights to stands and stuff like that. Like basically everything we have works in the Arca Swift system. So we have a bunch of different converters and adapters to make that work. So like if I want to put my camera on a camera, I use this thing. I can do that a couple different ways. That's going to be a longer video as well. This is an extra battery from the flash. This is like a little ball head that we can use for monitors or flashes or cameras. This is the umbrella mount for this light right here, but it works with other lights. These are the greatest thing ever, and I wish I could find a place to just buy these. It's just a little ball head that Aputure sends with the lights, but it's got a 5/8 screw mount on the bottom, so you can go right on to a light stand or into a hot shoe, which is awesome for like these little action cameras, because rather than throwing them up on a tripod, you can throw them up on a light stand and get super high up in the air, which we usually use these for our wide shots in the back of the church or the back of the ceremony area if it's outside. Mm-hmm. So that's really handy because, you know, it's a lot easier to set up a light stand a lot of the time than it is a tripod, especially if you want to go really high. I've got my spider holsters that I use when we're not shooting video weddings. I usually have them on when we're shooting video weddings.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I'll use the strap at video weddings so I can have a 3-point connection when I'm shooting video. So I usually have a couple of these USB battery banks. which we'll just throw on the cameras if they get low, or if they're going somewhere like up in the choir loft where we want them to just draw energy and we don't want to have to necessarily worry about them turning off. In here I've got just a couple odds and ends, not even really worth talking about. Like I've got a cable release for the camera in there and a couple pens. Super cool.
Cool.
Then on the front of the camera case, I've got like the umbrella mount S adapter thing. I've got a shoot-through umbrella in there, and I've got a softbox. I think that's it.
All right, so in my bag, I have some things. My camera, which is an A7. I like it, it's nice. And then a spare camera, which I also have the assistant use during prep. This is actually not just the A7, but also I've got this little 35 that I actually keep on here. Basically, we joke that it's an expensive lens cap, but I keep it on the camera so that if anything, like if we get someplace and something is happening like now, like I can just pull the camera right out of the bag and go. Plus, I actually really like this little 35. It's nice, you know? I only have 2 cameras in my bag as opposed to Adam's 4, but I'm okay with that. As far as lenses go, I've got 28 underneath my AD200 flash, the 70-200. What else? An expo disc, so I can expo disc when and where I need to.
I've got 3 of those because we have one for the assistant as well.
Yeah. Tilt shift, which I love. It's 35, right?
Yeah.
35.
We both love it.
85. Love it. And 55. Oh, and the 16-35, which has become a favorite of mine, especially at receptions. It's a fun lens. Here I have my fanny pack, my American Airlines fanny pack. And it's where I keep my lens whacking stuff, because if I keep my lens whacking equipment in a separate bag other than the one I'm actually working out of, I feel like I'm not losing space to a technique that only works like maybe 80% of the time. So Adam has told me to lens whack less. I've been trying, but I don't know.
Video.
What?
Separate video.
Separate video. Separate video.
On that, that's separate video.
But yeah, so it's a little adapter and this little 51.8 with the back gone.
Which is
so,
the worst lens for Nikon.
Yeah.
That's why I ripped it apart. Well, I guess that's why I didn't feel any
remorse?
Remorse, yeah.
Yeah. So if I keep my little fanny pack on, then I don't feel guilty about, having a trick lens basically taking up a significant portion of my actual bag. So fanny pack, strap. Usually there's a second one there for the assistant too. My own puffer and a little on-camera mic. So, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, did I mention my little flash?
No.
A little flash.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's my story.
So how do you feel our last wedding went in comparison to like our first one? Video wedding.
As far as like
video wedding, I should say.
gear goes, I think we brought a much more appropriate amount of gear.
Yeah. This last one was great.
Yeah. And then also I feel like
One before it, yeah.
yeah. I don't know, I feel like it's clicking,
Yeah. We've done it enough now.
Yeah.
It's like our 12th video wedding or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So we also have these little little bags.
Yeah. So when I said my working bag, this is what I meant. Like this little guy.
Which I've now actually stolen.
Yeah.
Like, day bag.
So, usually in the back pocket, I will keep my cheat sheet
Nice.
for where to go, and like it's got all the addresses and the timeline on there, just so that I'm never like, what's going on now? Like, where am I going?
So mine's a little bit bigger of a bag.
Which makes a huge difference. I vastly prefer using this as opposed to mine. So like
So
when I can steal it,
probably
I do.
Gonna give Katie a bigger bag.
Yeah,
next
just
time.
because, especially if you're putting a bigger lens in here, like the 16 to 35 or like a 70 to 200, it's like, okay, I can fit 2 lenses in here, and that's it. So,
like that was originally my bag, and I stopped using it for that reason. So in mine, I have the knife that we talked about. I've got a pen. That's super interesting. I've got this thing, which is the case for the Expo disc, which the Expo disc isn't in there, but I'll use it to throw ND filters in so they don't get damaged if I'm carrying them around. Also, we don't have the ND
yeah,
filters.
where we didn't
use
put
them at the
those.
last wedding
Oh
'cause
yeah,
we didn't need them because it was
like
December.
yeah.
This is the more interesting thing I have in my bag. Which again we didn't use.
Yeah.
We needed ND
Yep.
filter. So this is a clip-in ND filter, which is really useful for video because we try to keep our shutter speeds, pretty relative to what they should be. It's also really useful for flash photography if you want to have a lot more power. So I actually love that thing. It takes a little bit of doing to get it in the camera sometimes, but I don't know, it's worth it.
Yeah,
We have so many cameras that we can usually just throw it in one, and then we have
like one camera ready to
4
go, no
more,
matter.
right? Also,
Yeah.
same with gimbal stuff.
Yep.
We'll put one camera on a gimbal and just have it on the gimbal the whole time.
Like I feel like that was something we used the RX100 for a lot. Is okay, let's just put it on the gimbal and leave it on the gimbal because we're not gonna use it for anything else. So
Yeah, and also that camera's nice because it has a built-in ND filter, which the new ones don't have, which is one of the reasons I didn't get the new ones.
Oh,
I also
didn't know
have, it's hard to get out, but I have a length of wire in here. If we're doing like a dress shot,
Oh, yeah.
and we want to secure the dress, that comes in handy. And finally, the other trick I have in here somewhere is I have a thing of dental wax, which we use for securing like rings and stuff in place so they don't get.
yep.
But, and I have another one of those lights. I like these little aperture lights. Because like if you're doing a ring shot or something,
You can just basically make like a tent
Yeah.
around the ring.
you can't quite see, but you can just set it on
Yeah.
the table. That works great.
Yep.
I guess I can see it overhead. We also have gaffer's tape in my bag. I don't think I pointed that out.
No.
It's there. It's lovely. This is the other bag we take specifically for video weddings. And basically only for the reception. And this just has our reception lighting, which is the Came TV Boltzmann 55 watt daylight Frenzel and I don't know, LED lights, whatever. I'm pretty far with that description, but yeah, they're okay. The build quality leaves a lot to be desired. The ways you can power them leaves a lot to be desired, but
I don't know. I like them.
they're good.
I think they work.
They're good.
You
They're
know,
not-
like
this bag's a little bit like, if I could figure out a way to not have to bring this bag, I would do it. But I haven't figured out a better system yet.
do you mean you will a way to pack the lights or like different lights?
Like if we could get smaller lights or
Okay.
use our panel lights, but
Okay.
I really like
I think I
the
like
way
these.
light.
Yeah, better than the panel lights.
Yeah, because they don't throw light everywhere in the
Everywhere.
reception. You can really direct it, so we can like point light the dance floor, the speakers. It's nice.
Yeah.
Take a look at our reception coverage if you want to see what it looks like, or we'll do a little breakout video on that.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we bring. I'm not super strong. This has nothing in it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get called out again for movie magic. So this is this is our golf case.
We put stands in there and the gimbal and tripods.
Yeah. So let's see, 3 tripods, 5 light stands, a gimbal. We can also fit the strip box modifier in here, and that's about and 2 monopods.
Yeah. So.
So that's also going to be a separate video of me actually loading this thing, because we need the tripod for the camera, we need the light stand for the light. But yeah, it's been great, honestly. Like, I'm really happy with this solution to things. And also, if we fly somewhere,
Yeah.
let's do this. If we fly somewhere, it's nice to be able to throw everything in that bag and we can roll it rather than carrying it. It does get a little heavy when you have to carry it, but
Yeah. It's not the lightest. It's not the lightest thing we bring to a wedding, but it's a good solution for carrying a lot of things.
yeah, it's nice that it's all consolidated. And like, think of the timeline of the day. We only really need that for the ceremony and reception. Other than that, it sits in my car.
Yep, pretty much.
Same thing with the big bags. Like, we bring them in for prep, then they sit in the car, then we bring them in for ceremony, and they sit like with DJ,
Yeah.
and we work out our small bags. I don't know. Anything else to add?
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot.
Downstairs neighbors are gonna love that.
Yeah. There's a lot that I could add about particular pieces of equipment, but I feel like we're gonna do. Something I could say is, so Adam's priorities for lenses are like, is it sharp? Is it sharp? Is it sharp? Is it sharp? And then he's okay with having like really heavy big lenses if they're like really, really, really sharp. I do like a sharp image, but I prefer something lighter and smaller and less intimidating so that I can be more mobile, which is, I think, reflected in why we have the lenses that we have, why Adam is all Sigma, and then, I don't know, I like the little guys, you know?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I actually really like the Sony lenses, but I like the Sigmas more, because they are sharper, maybe not noticeably so, but they are. The autofocus is almost as good. I think the Sony's better, especially with video. You get that little bit of
the focus searching.
That's not breathing.
Something like that.
Yeah, it'll just like kind of.
It'll be like
back and forth like that just a little bit.
Are you trying to focus on this? Maybe what?
Yeah, the 24-70 doesn't do that though. I've noticed.
Really?
And also, it's not a big deal if you're actually using the camera.
It's when you put it on a tripod and leave it that it becomes a problem.
So for that, we'll use the Sony. I actually really want to get a Sony 70-200, or sorry, a Sigma 70-200, because right now we actually split the 70-200. I'll use it at the beginning of the ceremony, and then we'll actually
swap.
switch it to the other person. And that's not ideal, but I do love that 135 for ceremony stuff. It's nice to. It actually will give you separation between like the bride and groom and the officiant, even if they're standing almost right on top of each other.
Yeah.
Which is
Don't really get
nice.
that with the 70-200.
No. Leave a comment down below if you want us to talk about specific lens first. We'll probably do all the lenses, and definitely do the audio kit. And then I think we'll probably get into how we actually do our wedding day stuff and do our coverage, because I think we got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So let us know, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that's where all this stuff's gonna live.